Two states, one looming threat. After days of waiting, Tropical Cyclone Alfred is expected to hit Queensland's southeast in the middle of the night tomorrow, with fears that it could hit land as a destructive Category 3 storm. Millions in the firing line told to prepare their homes now before it's too late. Queuing in the heat for up to 3 hours. There are plenty of sandbags, but not enough sand.
Always concerned when there's a cyclone around, mate.
I don't want the water coming into my house.
We'll provide an additional 250,000 sandbags to the Queensland Government.
The clock ticking down as more than 4 million people brace for impact.
I just feel this is something unprecedented and I hope I never see it again.
Bit of the unknown, isn't it?
We're now into the phase where it's hours rather than days.
Tropical Cyclone Alfred set to hit at the worst possible time.
A cyclone could in fact cross the coast on high tide in the middle of the night.
In the worst possible place. The Category 2 system set to make landfall between Maroochydore on the Sunshine Coast and Coolangatta on the Gold Coast. The centre of the storm, near Brisbane, where 20,000 homes could go under.
The ADF is now engaged as of right now.
Everybody's a little bit apprehensive. Obviously, we haven't had a cyclone in this area for decades.
The Gold Coast, where powerful waves are already wiping out parked cars, is expected to cop the worst of the winds. Southeast Queensland grinding to a halt. Schools to close, public transport canned, and flights cancelled.
People should not be out tomorrow and the next day at the very least.
The danger extending far further from Double Island Point right down to Grafton in New South Wales.
Our planning is for something akin to the 2022 natural disaster in Lismore, but I hope it's less than that.
For residents in New South Wales' northern rivers, the looming threat is triggering, coming just days after the 3-year anniversary of the worst floods in Australia's modern history.
It is a sense of foreboding. We're still in a recovery.
There are still people who are still rebuilding after 2022. There's some people who haven't even made it home after 2022.
Communities across Australia's east coast making a desperate effort to rally together as the cyclone closes in.
The women and the elderly that we're trying to help first.
When you're filling bags, they say, oh, do you want me to give you a hand?
We are preparing pretty well.
It's a wonderful place to live, the Sunshine Coast.
It really is. Well, Gold Coast Acting Mayor Donna Gates is with us now. Donna, thanks for being with us. Just how is the community coping right now?
They're doing very well. They've heeded all the advice that's been given over almost a week now. They've collected their sandbags, they've got themselves set up, and we're urging people to now stay indoors.
It's great that you say that they're heeding advice, because I've got to admit, as a Brisbane local, I was at the Gold Coast last week. This seems so unfathomable to me. Are people taking it seriously, or as seriously as they need to?
They are now. On the weekend, it was a beautiful sunny weekend, and again on Monday. So it was very difficult to get the message through of what we are about to face. Every modelling criteria or scenario that has been done has shown that this cyclone is going to cross the coast, most likely somewhere between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. So I think we've been reinforcing that message over and over again, and the people have listened. There were long queues for sandbags today, yesterday and all of the week. We had to open additional self-serve sandbag locations here on the coast. So, yeah, everyone's doing what they needed to do. They've brought in all their outdoor furniture or secured it. We have a problem with the high-rise buildings where on the balconies people have their goods. We've urged them to bring it in, and I understand there's been a great response.
And I think about those high-rise buildings on the Gold Coast, like right up to the edge of the beach, effectively, not just high-rise, other buildings as well. And then I hear about the coincidence of the cyclone with high tide, and you've got surf beaches and properties right there. Like, how worrying is that whole mix?
It's very worrying. It's been escalated to potentially a high-end Category 2 cyclone, wind speeds of up to 155 kilometres per hour. And because of the combination of the high tide and the heavy rainfall, over a metre of surge. So we have done the modelling for every possible outcome. A couple of those potential outcomes are listed on our city dashboard. We'd like people to Google Dashboard Gold Coast. It'll take them directly to the link and they can model their own home. They can put their address in and see what potential impacts for a different set of criteria might be going to occur depending on the level of the cyclone that we get, depending on where it crosses.
Donna, we're simply not used to seeing cyclones like this in Australia. You've had to act very quickly. Do you think you're as prepared as you could be?
We're incredibly well prepared. We have a new disaster management centre that is a $20 million facility that was built in the last couple of years. Incredible foresight from our mayor to make sure that that was constructed and it's operational. Today we had the Premier visit. We had Minister Jenny McAllister. The Prime Minister was here today. There's been amazing support from every level of government and from all the agencies. We've met with the agencies every day this week, so all of the support services are in place. We couldn't be better prepared, but it is the unknown. The last time we had an event of this magnitude was 1954. We had the 74 floods thereafter, but the comparable event was 1954. So it's not unprecedented, but very unusual.
Indeed. Well, it's a hell of a time for you to step into the role as acting mayor. All the best with it. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you so much.